really seeking out those individuals that are different. One of my most fruitful mentee relationships was with somebody who is Black, transgendered, born in Kentucky to Baptist minister parents. And I can tell you to this day, I learned way more from them than they ever learned from me. But it really helped me along my journey to really kind of understand somebody else's experience.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a story that is very, very, very close to home to me. And I have some special insights on because I, in fact, used to work for this company. And the company that we're talking about today is the financial behemoth Vanguard, the company that is subject to a lot of conspiracy theories about the global financial system. Them along with BlackRock, right? They're the main culprits, okay? Now, one conspiracy that I can confirm is that this story right here from the Daily Wire, I think definitely has some truth to it. As allegedly, Vanguard tells white men to accept uncomfortable criticism, folks holding them accountable in diversity training. Now, again, there's a lot of conspiracies out there about Vanguard, right? The one that I can verify is that this right here is probably true because when I was there, and one of the reasons why I wanted to leave the corporate world as fast as possible is because of these woke diversity and inclusion trainings, okay? They had these things called career resource groups where they would group you based off of your skin color. They had an Asian one, they had an LGBTQ one, they had a black one. And I always thought those things were divisive, okay? I always thought that it was strange, it was weird, especially hearing, white people stand up and give speeches doing the black groups, right? And basically virtue signal their whiteness, okay? And how much guilt they feel and how they're trying to help out black people and all this stuff. I always just felt like it was uncomfortable for me, okay? But again, it's one of those things that a lot of these companies have and that they're doing. They think that this is going to help them with the bottom line. They think that this is going to help them internally. However, I don't buy into it, okay? But yeah, I work for this company. I never mentioned it before on my channel explicitly because I don't know why, but it's been like, 4 or 5 years since I've been there, right? So I think it's okay for me now to say I work for them. I mean, if you ever look me up on LinkedIn or if you added me on LinkedIn, you can see that I work there. So with that being said, I want to read about this story because I can verify that some of this stuff is probably true. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can do so using the links in the description below. You can support the merch, including my new merch, my donkeypox shirts, the disease that is affecting America, or my hashtag no days off / hard work t-shirts. Again, you can get them at my store, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code gforemanbcp. So without further ado, let's get into it. Asset management company Vanguard hosted a diversity training in July asking white men to accept, quote, uncomfortable criticism about their implicit biases, footage obtained by the Daily Wire shows. Vanguard, which manages over $7 trillion in client assets, hosted the event as part of its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. In line with that commitment, Vanguard tapped a consultant to host a 2-hour session called, quote, The Critical Lever, Engaging White Male Managers in Advancing Diversity and Inclusion. So, yeah, this was always a thing, okay? Vanguard always will hire these woke people to come in and give these talks, okay? I remember we had one talk with, Soledad O'Brien, right? I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's like some CNN analyst. And they did that one for the Hispanic group that they have. Okay, so they would always have these people come in and give these talks, right? These talks about wokeness and stuff like this. So again, I'm not surprised at all to see this. Quote, unless you are actively including, you are likely accidentally excluding, which means if you're not actively being anti-racist, then you're racist, right? That's just a different way of rephrasing that term. Lord Sherman, managing director at diversity consultant firm Ceramont, told more than 2,000 employees attending the event in person and virtually on August 19th, the footage shows. In her own words, Sherman described the session as an attempt toward, quote, really ensuring that white male managers are actively included in the DEI conversation, although she made it abundantly clear that the nomenclature used in cited surveys was not meant to superimpose an identity on the white males who participated. Well, that's kind of how it's interpreted, right? That's kind of how it's interpreted. But yeah, I mean, in regards to white males being a part of the conversation, that was, again, always a thing that you would hear in these groups, right? When you go and do these diversity trainings, you go in the black group, you go to the Hispanic group, Asian group, or whatever. They be like, we need more white people. We need more white people to be in these groups. We need them to be a part of the conversation. And I'm like, well, why would white people come to a group or a meeting that in the title implies that it's for blacks, right? Again, doesn't seem like you're doing a great job of advertising or making white people feel comfortable coming to this meeting and hearing you out, right? Doesn't seem like the goal here is to actually have white people be a part of the conversation, but they claim that that's what they want. Or maybe they want to use that as an opportunity to tell white people how bad they are. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is what I observed when I was there.
This research that I'm about to present to you is actually an act of accidental exclusion or active inclusion, depending on how you look at it, in terms of us really ensuring and partnering with some of the leading companies in the field to ensure that white male managers are actively included in the DEI conversation. And that's the piece of research, and that's the critical lever that we're here to talk about today. Engaging white male managers in advancing diversity and inclusion. We partnered with, as I mentioned, some of the foremost thinkers in the DEI field and are so thrilled at Vanguard for being one of our leading sponsors.
Yeah, so again, this lady's getting paid to basically push racism and divisiveness, right? It's a whole industry of this stuff, guys. And again, a lot of this stuff, like I try to tell you, is driven by money. Whether it be, again, the woke diversity and inclusion stuff or the pushing, surgeries on, kids, the whole, transitioning thing. A lot of it's just money, to be quite honest with you. Vanguard did not respond to a request for comment from the Daily Wire after presenting survey results indicating that white male managers have a desire to push for diversity on their teams, yet feel unsure how to do so. Sherman said that Vanguard ought to provide, quote, expectations for DEI prioritization and clarity on how both senior leaders and middle managers will and should be held accountable. She suggested that one possible mechanism for such accountability could come through, quote, performance management process and feedback channels, just like we do for business results. Yeah, so basically, it seems like what we have here is that they want white people, white managers, to be held accountable. Well, what about all the other managers, right? What about the black ones, right? There's plenty of those, right? There are plenty of black managers. There are plenty of minority managers at Vanguard. I know because I was there. Should they not be held accountable? Should they be looked over? Or should we only just focus on the white ones? Again, that's my question here. Vanguard CEO Tim Buckley appeared to be seated in the front row during the presentation. Sherman also encouraged white male managers to be aware of implicit biases and accept criticism, even if it's uncomfortable, and take initiative in discovering how to engage and interrupt bias, exclusion, and microaggressions. Again, these people are getting paid a fortune. They're getting paid a fortune to do this. Why would they ever say that, oh no, the diversity and inclusion in your company is fine, right? It's totally okay. It's totally fine, right? Why would they ever say that? What incentive do they have to do that? They don't. Because if they said that, then there would be no reason for these companies to hire them and to continue to retain their services. Do you guys see the incentive here, the perverse incentive here, right? Your company will always be racist. There will always be more that you can do to be more diverse and inclusive, right? The lecture was followed by a panel event featuring 5 white male Vanguard managers, including Managing Director Tom Rapula, who moderated the discussion centered on how they realized their own racial identity and how it shaped the way they experience life. It's funny because I've definitely seen some of these people, right? I've definitely seen some of these people in person, for sure. A lot of people may still think that DEI is only for underrepresented groups. It's for people that don't look like me. One manager commented, the message here is get involved. When you do that, you become part of inclusion. Quote, that mentor-mentee relationship has really helped me across differences, really seeking out those individuals that are different. Another manager added, one of my most fruitful mentor-mentee relationships was with somebody who is black, transgender, born in Kentucky to Baptist minister parents. I can tell you to this day, I learned way more from them than they ever learned from me. Really?
If I could just add to that, and I think it is through some of those relationships and being a mentor, that mentee-mentee relationship has really helped me advance across differences, really seeking out those individuals that are different. One of my most fruitful mentee-mentee relationships was with somebody who is black, transgender, born in Kentucky to Baptist minister parents. And I can tell you to this day, I learned way more from them than they ever learned from me. But it really helped me along my journey to really kind of
Wow, I don't miss this amount of butt kissing. I don't miss this amount of butt kissing. That's what this company is filled with a whole lot of, like the rest of corporate America. Butt kissing, right? So apparently one of these managers even discussed bringing his daughter to a Pride event at Vanguard as well, too.
One piece of advice that I'd give you if you're thinking about bringing your kids to participate in Vanguard events, that's also a beautiful thing to do. So, for example, for Pride this year, I brought my girls on campus, and we had an incredible time. If you were there, you'd know it was the most amazing Vanguard event that's been put on in a long, long time, if not ever. And I would just encourage you to have your kids participate in those events as much as possible.
Wow. Wow. Again, I don't miss that, right? I don't miss that amount of cringe, corporate butt kissing that is literally everywhere in that company, right? And it's just so funny being on the outside looking in now, after being on the inside, seeing it, right? Being reported in news, like the insides of what goes on there. It's kind of funny to me because I can definitely confirm that, yeah, a lot of that stuff was present there. I'm not surprised at all to see this type of stuff being exposed because, again, it's not just happening at Vanguard. It's happening all across corporate America. And I'm not convinced that it actually helps the bottom line. But, hey, that's what they say. This is why I left corporate America. The main reason. This and the butt kissing. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.